Hello and welcome to Rep Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me today is Trisha Ghoshal, and Snehashish Mukherjee will join us very soon as well. And India have won the series and won the match today by 42 runs. Well, the thing about this is, and there's a special guest in Trisha's frame,
Yeah,
but let's not think about that. Let's talk about what the game was, and not a very thoroughly dominating performance. Do you think, Trisha? Do you think this was a dominating game?
um, not really. I mean, again, we lost our openers cheaply. Top three went cheaply. Top three went pretty cheaply. So I think it tested the middle order for sure.
Hmm.
But other than that, I don't think um, it was as good a performance as the last T20I, because there we clearly dominated, and there it was obviously a clear 10 wicket win. That is not something that happened here, but I'm glad that especially after losing that first match, I think everyone must have thought that have they sent um, a young side, completely young side, is that a mistake or not? Thankfully that has been answered for sure.
Snehashish, what did you think about this game? When we're sorry, not winning, playing against a team like Zimbabwe, you want India to win with a good margin and win very dominatingly. But this series has been a little bit different. Of course, we lost the first game, and then all the matches that we've seen so far haven't been that convincing. Of course, we won, but do you think this was, a convincing performance from Team India?
Uh, what Trishadi said, I absolutely agree with that. That this win must not look like that much convincing if you watch the game properly from start to end. Because if you just watch the margin of winning a T20 match by 42 runs, it's a good margin to win. You can say that it's a convincing win. But if you see the match properly from start to end, then you might say that there are some areas that India might look to improve in the coming series. But again, this is a young team. This series was completely because you wanted to give platform to young players. The good thing that Vishati mentioned, that the young players like Rian Parag got, got a chance today to bat, to have some time in the middle. That's a good sign, because in the previous four matches he didn't got that much of chances to show his talent with the bat, especially. So that's a good sign. But overall, the bowlers have been pretty much dominant throughout the series. I would say in all five matches, the batters have struggled a bit in these five matches. If you see, one day, as we saw in the last match, the openers won the match completely for you, and another day the openers failed. Then Ruturaj Gaikwad may fail, and then the middle orders comes to and rescue. So that's a good point again, that the middle orders come to and rescue today, because that might happen in a big match also. So overall, as a learning curve, I think this series has been a success. And over the years also, this Zimbabwe series has not been that much convincing for Team India. In 2016, when we last tour, Dhoni was the captain. Young players like Jasprit Bumrah was young, then he came. We lost the first match and then won the series 2-1. It was a three-match series. So overall, I think it's been like this only when it comes to Zimbabwe series. But overall, I think as a learning curve, this series has been successful for Team India.
Can I differ a little?
Yeah.
I know I was almost expecting Gargi to say no, you can't differ, but then yeah, no. I slightly differ with Snehashish on is I don't think our performance in the bowling has been dominating throughout the series, and I'll tell you exactly why am I saying this, because let alone the first match, right, where Zimbabwe scored 115. Zimbabwe's scores are 134, 159 for 6, 152 for 7, and 125 all out. So, first of all, I think we have got them all out only on two occasions out of five. And to be honest, we have actually let them score two 150s as well. Yes, it has looked easier because that 152 was chased in just 15 overs, and it looked like Jaiswal and Gill were batting on different surfaces than the Zimbabwe batters. But considering, and I'm not trying to be offensive towards Zimbabwe batters, but we all know that their their team is also young. The experienced ones like Sean Williams have retired, so they have a young batting lineup. And even after having a young batting lineup, a batting lineup which is struggling, we actually let them cross 150 on more than one occasion. And we have not got them all out in every single match. So I do think the bowlers have a lot to think about. For example, if I was someone like Mukesh Kumar, then I would say today my job was well done. But that's not the same thing for everyone. I do think that Indian bowlers do have a lot more to think. And Gargi, if I'm honestly asked, I won't be worried about the batting bench strength of Indian team. I'm a little worried about the pace bowling bench strength and the off spinning bench strength. I think Ravi Bishnoi, Yuzvendra Chahal, Kuldeep Yadav all are doing a fab job when it comes to the wrist spinners. But when it comes to the finger spinners, I do really see us struggling.
Yeah. And another question, that a lot of people are asking is, what do you think about Tushar Deshpande? I watched his very first over. I mean, we watched the whole match, but when I was watching his very first overs, he looked, sort of all over the place because he was bowling a lot of over pitch deliveries. He was getting hit. I think the first two deliveries of his in the very second over, after an incredible over from Mukesh Kumar, he went for two boundaries. So whenever Tushar Deshpande was coming on, it felt like from one end, there was pressure, and from the other end, runs were leaking. So it was sort of breaking the harmony, and I think that is what led to Zimbabwe playing so long as well. Snehashish, what did you think of Tushar Deshpande in the last two matches?
Yes, absolutely. I think the first match was okay. That there are some nerves for him, so you can understand that the bowling will be might be some troubling. But in the second match today, I expected a little better from him because especially the over that you mentioned, I was also watching that the first two ball that he bowled was so full and on the pads, so it was easy for the batters to to nick the ball and the ball just went for four. So I think as a bowler you have to use your mind, right? Because the track was not that much flat, or not that it was so much tricky for the batters. So I think if you bowl just the way Mukesh Kumar was bowling at the right spot consistently, I think if Tushar Deshpande, I think Tushar Deshpande was trying too much hard on himself. I think he was trying to do many things at one ball. I think that was leading to to him bowling at here and there at the pitch. But I think overall is okay. It's only two matches. You cannot judge a player on two matches. But overall, seeing his performance in the IPL, I am not so much surprised because even in the IPL also he might taken a lot of wickets, but he has runs like 10, 11 runs per over. So it has been a characteristic of him. So I'm not criticizing him at all, but I was quite surprised to see his name in the Indian lineup when the name came in the lineup because I thought that Harshit Rana, bowler like Harshit Rana might get instead of him in the starting in the starting list rather than picking Tushar Deshpande. So I don't know. Maybe the coach have seen something. Indian coach have seen. Indian management have seen something what I or maybe we are not seeing. But overall, let's see how he perform if he gets more opportunity. But in first two matches, it's been a bit disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Sorry,
yes.
I have another point to add. The other thing, Gargi, you remember I said in the pre-show as well. I think he's not looking fully fit, and when I say he's not looking fully fit, I'm not talking about injuries. I'm saying I think he has gained weight, and that affects pace bowlers. Uh, you know, I was myself a pace bowler, and when I was bowling, just to clarify for people who might think, okay, she's the one to talk about weight. Well, it's because I'm not a pace bowler anymore. When I was a pace bowler, I was a lean because the whole rhythm. When you look at Tushar Pandey, you're talking about how he's bowling. I'm saying start from the run up. When he's coming into bowl, he looks, He just doesn't look in the rhythm. And that is why when you are not in rhythm, Gargi, you have played the sport, you know,
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
you're not feeling that rhythm in your body, that is when you start trying more variations than needed. That is exactly what is happening to Tushar Deshpande. I do think if he sheds 2 or 3 kilos, maybe he'll be in a better shape. Like, he's looking like the Rishabh Pant before he made a comeback. That's where it is. I think he needs to lose weight rather than getting too much into variations.
Yeah, and this is a point that actually my father also noticed. Him being being a former cricketer as well. So he said, Tushar Deshpande on the very second ball, actually, he said that he doesn't look in rhythm because during his follow up, his action is going sort of array. If you actually look at it, and his head is actually falling down. He's not seeing where the ball is landing, and that causes a lot of problem. It may not seem like a big problem, but when bowling coaches are teaching young kids or teaching anyone at that point, they one of the biggest points and one of the most repeated points is look where the ball is landing. That is one of the very important basics of the game. And sometimes it happens that as the longer you play cricket or any sport at that point, you sort of start forgetting the basics and get too complicated in trying to make more
Absolutely.
advanced.
And in fact, you're so correct, Gargi. The longer
Yeah.
you play, that becomes the bigger problem.
Yes,
Because people speak to
exactly.
you about, nobody's going to Tushar Deshpande and saying your run up is a problem, you're out of rhythm. What they are now going and telling him is get a Yorker, get a wider Yorker, get a shorter ball, add this variation, because you have reached that level. You are already playing IPL. You are no more in the under 13s, under 15s, under 19s, right? So I completely agree with Uncle that this is what I was pointing out to Snehashish. Snehashish, remember exactly what I was saying, that so he's looking a little wobbly in the run up, and
Hmm.
automatically then he's coming and bowing down while bowling almost. That is where he's missing his length. I
Yeah,
think we went
totally.
too technical on that. Yeah.
Yeah, we went too technical on that, but we can't help it, no.
Yeah.
Uh, Priyanshu is saying, look at Alcaraz. Alcaraz is
Oh,
on
he's
fire
fired!
today.
Vamos!
He's on
Vamos!
fire. Look at how many mistakes he's making Djokovic make. Look at, I don't know, the very first game. I mean, he made him break 3 times in one set. I mean, that's something I don't think Djokovic has ever done before. I don't think he makes that many mistakes.
I think
So,
there's
this
only one country's players who can do this to Djokovic, and that's Spain. No, I am from India. I am not from Spain. I am a Rafa Nadal fan, and the legacy continues to Alcaraz that way.
Yeah, and he's been incredible. I think Carlos,
He
he's
has
what
already won
22?
two sets. He has won two
Yeah,
sets. So
yeah.
one
I'm
more
just
set
looking
and
at the map actually,
back to back
and
Wimbledon champion.
whoa, that sounds good. That sounds actually really good. And Djokovic has on his shoe written 24,
Yeah.
and the commentators were talking about
You
how if he wins today, it will be 25. But there was a lot of emphasis on the if because Carlos Alcaraz is on fire
He,
today. Absolutely, this is a very very fun game to watch actually.
he
Let's look at some.
is
Yeah.
did you see Alcaraz's reaction after he won the second set? People generally do this. He looked at Djokovic and he did. I don't know what like.
He's
कुछ
playing
अपना
with
ही चल
him.
रहा है इन लोगों का.
I mean, at the toss as well, I think they were. I don't know. Alcaraz was just going crazy at that time, and then Djokovic also saw, and then he also started doing a lot of shadow, but he's really pumped and he's very focused today. Priyanshu is also saying, had Zimbabwe fielded well, this series would have been really close. Snehashish, what do you think?
Yeah, it could have been because even today, I think they missed some early chances, and if they would have caught those chances, maybe Indian batters might have struggled to post this amount of runs also. So, see, fielding is an important part. We all know, especially in a format like T20I. So, I think as a team, every team, including Zimbabwe, they will look to improve their fielding. And yes, if you do field well, you can save those important 10, 15 extra runs, and that will help while when you especially chasing, that fielding efforts will help you to chase a little bit lower score than you would have expected. So I think yes, there are some instances where Zimbabwe could have done better with their fielding, and with that better fielding, they could have maybe changed the overall fate of the match also. But for now, India have managed to win the series 4-1. So celebrate that. Let's see how it happens.
But this fielding, Gargi, I was watching the England New Zealand women's series. If you called New Zealand's fielding pathetic, you would be respectable. Like you would be respecting them. I mean, they have been dropping catches right, left, and center. In front of them, Zimbabwe seems a better fielding side. It was that bad. But I do understand where Priyanshu is coming from. I think. The matches would have been, as I said, because we allowed their batters, and I'll use the word we allowed. Again, no offense meant, but because our bowling was pretty poor in bits and
Static.
pieces. Bits and pieces is a bad word to use, but anyway, that's why I think their fielding would have actually got certain matches closer for sure. I mean, maybe the series line would have been 3-2. India would have still won, but it would have been 3-2 or something of that sort. Or at least the matches would have gone far closer than they actually went.
Yeah. Uh, Anita Padi is saying Joker fan always doesn't give a damn about crowd. What
It's not like he doesn't give a damn about crowd, Anita. He actually wants the crowd against him because that is fuel for
fuels
him.
him?
That drives him. Absolutely. He
Yeah.
always wants the crowd. Yes, he doesn't want the crowd to be disrespectful. They were disrespectful at one point. And it's sad, Gargi. With all
Hmm.
the facade that's put forward in Wimbledon, that you have to wear formals and you have to go this way, you can't go that way, you can do this, certain people are allowed so and so, everything is done right in Wimbledon.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, the way the crowd behaved that in that Joker match is actually pretty sad. But crowd booing has always given that extra bit of fuel to Joker. And maybe in fact, let me tell you something, Anita. Since you are a Joker fan, though I am an Alcaraz fan, but even after Alcaraz being 2-0 up, because it's Joker, I'm still not like when Nadal also would be 2-0 up, I would be like, wait, Joker is not a person, he's a beast. He'll make a comeback for sure. I won't be surprised if this goes on to 5 sets again. You know?
Yeah, totally. This is a good question and a question that I wanted to ask you guys. How do you rate Gill's captaincy? See, that was my question. The next part is not mine, but the first question is what I wanted to ask you guys as well. How do you rate Gill's captaincy in this series?
Um, I, I am saying, I will say it's a medium. I don't see that much of greatness or something. It's okay. It is just fast match. I think it will take some time for Gill to to understand the Team India players and all everything, because captaining a franchise and captaining a country is a completely different thing. And when you captaining a franchise after being in the franchise for last 2 years, it's quite easy rather than captaining a whole India side, because they are from different players are there. You have to manage everyone, and you have to you have to control the especially that dressing room and environment, because that is very crucial to the success of a team. So I think as a captain, he has been very average, I will say. But in the future matches, when senior players will again take rest, I think in those series again, I think he will be given the captaincy. I think then the more matches he will captain, I think he will get more better. But overall, for now, I think it's been very average.
Can I
Yeah,
again put in my point?
yeah.
I think, honestly, if I talk about his franchisee captaining, then I think it's made extremely easy by the football coach there. That's a football mentality coach who's there. That's Ashish Nehra. Like, he's continuously saying the fielder should be here. He's talking to the bowlers. So he basically makes Gill's job very, very easy. Apart from that, there's a David Miller who has captained South Africa. There is a Rashid Khan who captains Afghanistan. So I think there are captains in the team also, which makes it easier for him. Now coming to this series, look, to be honest, I can't even rate him as a captain, not because he has done anything wrong, but it's the other way. He hasn't done anything right for me to say, oh, that's a captaincy move, which has worked. So it was a very average move, I would say. Typically, you knew this bowler would come in at this over. Nothing changed, nothing new was tried. So to rate him here would be a little difficult. And I think since this is a sign that somewhere India is looking at Gill as the captain, I would say he needs to be exposed in more series to understand. But again, if Hardik Pandya comes back and Hardik is the captain, then again that becomes a completely different story. About he's thinking about his own runs and places instead of playing for the team. Look here, cricket fanaticus. The problem with playing the way Gill plays is the same problem that people have been blaming Kohli for. I will again have to quote what Bharat or Rohit, one of them, said in the pre-show. I think Rohit, that if Virat Kohli, if we had not won the World Cup, Virat Kohli would have been a selfish player. Because we have won the World Cup, now he's a goat for everyone. So that's how that's what anchors have to face over the years. Look at every single anchor from every single team. This is the exact word that is written for them, that they're selfish. Because people don't understand that the role of an anchor is way different from a role of Yashasvi Jaiswal. So, Jaiswal has the role of going from the beginning. He can be, he can get out at scoring not in 3 consecutive matches, and people might not question him because of the intent. But with Gill, it's the other way around. Gill is supposed to let these players like Abhishek Sharma, Yashasvi Jaiswal play around him. The role isn't easy, but that doesn't make the batter selfish. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Amartya saying happy birthday, Trishadi.
Eh,
Where did that come from? After what? 4 or 5 days later?
And
No,
how did you
6 days
find
later.
out?
Yeah,
How did
that's
you
my
find
question.
out?
How did you find out, Amurtha, that it's
That's
my?
that's more freaky actually.
I think in the morning show, Sir mentioned that tomorrow we will have a party from Tishadi for her
Uh,
birthday. So I think from that, I think Amartya
Okay,
Chakrabarti.
Amurtha, my birthday was on the 8th of July. As we all know, all great people are born on 8th of July. Saurav Ganguly, Trisha Ghoshal, all on 8th of July.
now ask my birthday.
15th August, Independence Day.
India was born on my birthday. Not born, but independent. Independent India was born on my birthday. Anyway, Amartya is also saying for Wimbledon, Carlos is my pick. Mine too. In Euro, Spain and Copa Argentina. Snehashish, football freak, tell us your Euro and Copa prediction.
Yeah. I think Amartya Chakrabarti has gone with the safest bid as possible as he can because with the current form, Carlos, everyone's favorite. Yes, okay, Djokovic is a legend already. He has his fan base, but the way Carlos has been playing in the last two years, I think he has been very good. In Euro, Spain is obviously starting as a favorite in the final, and in the Copa also against Colombia, Argentina starting favorites, but Colombia has been tremendously good. They are unbeaten in last 27 or 28 matches. So I think it will be a cracking of a match, both the finals, both Euro and Copa final. But all these picks, I think he has picked correctly.
He has picked correctly. See, I think I have repeated in the I have said it in the pre-show, and I repeat. Carlos is my pick. Spain again, the form they are in, it would be sad if the cup comes home after that. It will be sad for Spain, not for me. But Copa Argentina, picking Argentina is kind of a compulsion for us because one of our team members, one no, in fact two of them, both both Rohan and Shopnil are mad Argentina fans. So if we don't pick, if we don't predict that Argentina is gonna win, and if Argentina does not win, then tomorrow, our biryani party is ruined. So let's hope that Argentina wins.
X is also asking, Sasha will win the US Open. Trisha.
Um, let's see. I don't mind him winning the US Open because I've always liked Sasha's style of play. But
Mhm.
again, that's before that we have the Olympic medal and everything to play for in the Olympics for all the tennis stars. Let's finish that and then we'll be moving on to US Open.
Yes, yes. And let's take some final questions over here. Joker making a comeback in third set. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
That was
Um,
predicted. He was not going to lose 3-0. That everybody knows that. I mean, come on.
yeah.
But
Amartya
Snehashi,
Sen.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Gill is a bowler's captain. Most of the field placement is done by the bowler, which is a good thing. Huh? Acha, acha, matlab he's letting the bowlers do the field placement. So he's a good bowler's captain.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I don't think any captain tells the bowler that, oh, you want this field, I'm not going to give it to you. No captain says that because ultimately they want their bowlers to be happy and bowl properly. Yes, of course, if there's a captain like Mahendra Singh Dhoni or somebody who understands,
Then you
or
have
a
no
Mihali
option.
Raj, that there are better options, like there are better field set, you
Yeah.
know they go up to the bowler and try and speak to them, and even after that, if the bowler is not confident, see, the bowler has to be confident of the field. uh,
Yeah.
if the bowler is not confident, then of course every captain sets the field according to the bowler. um, Again, I don't think we are criticizing Gill's captaincy. Let's make that very clear because the sample size is so small that there's nothing to pre. So, what Snehashish Garge and I are basically saying is he hasn't yet made a move where you can say, oh, that's a fantastic move. But he hasn't been bad. He has been okay. I mean, chalta hai. That's the verdict.
Yes. And what else? Kishu Patel in second match are Nag
2007 bowler. So what is
Shubman Gill against left armers.
I think it has been an issue, and it is a not a new thing for Indian batters to have probleming in left arm pacers, right? We have our legends Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli have also struggled taking left arm pacers, so I think it's not an issue. But I think the one that he mentioned that in the second match the catch dropped, I think it's winner. What the comment is this? Raga Rao.
Raga.
They
He's
they have Kishu has given Gargi a
new
nickname of
name.
sorts.
Oh,
Raga.
oh, oh, Rahul Gargi.
Like Raga. Wow. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Good job, Kishu.
Yeah. So I was telling that it is a not a new thing that Indian batters are struggling, especially right-handed batters struggling in left-arm pacers. And for Shubman Gill also, we have seen this. He has struggled against Pakistan, Shaheen Afridi also. If you see in the previous Asia Cup edition, in the 50 over format, I am saying before the 2023 World Cup. In that edition also, we saw that he was struggling against Shaheen Afridi. So I think this is an area that the Shubman Gill needs to work, and I think he has been working. But Zimbabwe bowlers have been pretty good, especially in the initial first 6 overs. I think the more the game progresses, I think their bowling has looked a bit, a bit here and there.
Out of
They are,
sorts.
yeah, out of thirds. And I think there, I think Zimbabwe need to work. But for Shubman Gill, I think the initial first 6 overs, I think pretty good. And for Zimbabwe bowlers, but Shubman Gill needs to work with their honest technique, especially in the left arm, because in the next series, in the next coming two series, he will face more quality players like he will face quality opponents like Australia, Sri Lanka, and every other team.
Yeah. Amartya here is saying, how can Djokovic play after undergoing major surgery just 1 month ago? अद्भुत शक्ति है भाई में ये तो है. He is what,
He's
40
not a
plus?
person. He's a beast. He's not a person. He's just fine. Amato, he's
You
a
know,
beast.
the surgery that he underwent, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to recover, but he recovered in 25 days. So you can imagine what sort of fitness level he's on. There's just no answer to this. No answer.
No,
Only
I said
only
he's a
different stone.
beast. He's a beast. That's the answer.
Yeah. And I think Kishu Patel is saying thanks for taking questions. Thank you so much, Kishu, for sending your questions. Dex is saying last comment. Let's take this last comment. The issue with Zimbabwe cricket as they is that they are not producing world class white cricketers like South Africa. Does it? Yeah. No, Dex. It doesn't have anything to do with race. I don't. Do you mean white ball cricketers? Because that would make more sense. Please, let's not make
Yeah,
this.
Dex, it's very confusing. But if you're saying white as in the complexion, skin complexion has got nothing to do with this. Um, but if you're talking about white ball cricketers, then I think it has got a lot to do with the kind of investment that's there in the cricket board, the money that the players get. You know, that is how a lot of these teams, actually the players have a job and then they play cricket because uh, they are not paid enough. It's a different story in India, in Australia, in England, where the players can professionally take up cricket as white ball gargi. Good job, Dix. Good job. um,
You should have written that.
yeah, exactly. No, I understand where the confusion was, Dex, and I hope you
Yeah.
understand, Dex. If you write white cricketers, it creates a lot of confusion. But yeah, as I said, I think I agree with Dex, but Shirish and Dex are back. This is superb. Yes, Dex just bowled a googly to us. Yes, the wrong one, completely the wrong one. I was like, what? But yeah, as I was saying, that if you don't get enough money, then why would someone join and how do I put it, be completely like 200% in it if you don't have enough money? And that is exactly what is happening with countries like Zimbabwe. But somebody
Yeah.
was saying that now the people are accepting cricket, and cricket has become more one of the more liked games. So I hope
Rohit
if
was
that
saying.
happens, Rohit was saying, na?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That
Rohit is there.
that
Rohit can see the crowd.
yeah.
If that happens, if there is more interest than in cricket, if the viewers increase, then automatically the business business persons will want to invest in it. The sponsors will come in. That results in the boards paying the cricketers better and better cricket and better white ball cricketers.
Very very important clarification over there. Because otherwise it's just inappropriate. But Snehashi's Dex was asking about tonight's final Euro. Who's winning? Did you give your prediction? I am not sure.
I told that Spain is favorites. Obviously, Spain is favorite. So
Spain
I also
in
Spain will win.
Yeah, Spain in tennis, Spain in football. It seems
Yes.
Spain.
In
Tonight is
fact,
Spain's match.
Alcaraz was actually booed in the Wimbledon court because when he
Huh.
won his semi-finals, uh, he was asked about this final, and he said Sunday night will be a special. I hope Sunday night will be a special night for Spain because he just did this, and the whole crowd went like boo. So he was like, I'm just
Wow.
saying that we are in the finals. I'm not saying that we are winning. So he
I
just
don't think
changed the gear. But yeah,
even Wankhede crowd booed this as much
yeah.
as the Wimbledon crowd boos over
Yeah,
anything.
it's in fact, you know what? This is something that maybe we should do a separate live on. That generally tennis is a sport where the crowd is known to be the most
Very well behaved.
sophisticated lot. Exactly, but this year the French, I know the French Open crowd is a little bit rowdier than the Wimbledon crowd, but this year was something completely different. Like it went to the point where Swiatek in the match against Osaka, actually after playing the point, she was like, what are you doing in between points? Why are people screaming? And she had to complain about that. Like she spoke to the crowd after the match that, look, you have to understand that for you guys it is entertainment, for us everything is dependent on this. So please support us. And you know what struck the most, Gargi, after saying this, and this was perfectly correct, because I think the point that Swiatek was referring to, she lost that point because somebody spoke and it just broke her zone and she lost it.
Yeah.
And it could have been gone because I think it was one less than match point for Osaka. Swiatek
Which
then
makes you, sort of think about cricketers as well, how focused they would be because crowds are screaming throughout, right? And even though,
but
they're far
crowds are
away,
not that close. I'll tell you
yeah, they're
what.
far away,
Crowds are not that close. That's why you cannot hear somebody
but
screaming such
there's
and such,
more
and of course
crowd
you can
then.
hear. Huh?
There's more crowd.
No, no, I agree. I'm not saying
Yeah,
the
yeah,
players cannot hear anything, but when a tennis player is being told, serve slowly, it can straight away
yeah.
come to you because the crowd is right near you. That is there. But as I said, the striking point was when Swiatek said, "Just because I'm saying this, please don't hate me." Like to be scared of that, to
Yeah.
think that's a little sad, and you don't expect that from a crowd, a tennis crowd. And this time Wimbledon crowd has been rowdy as well. I mean, to think of it, that you know they were
Yes.
disrespectful, they were outright disrespectful in that Djokovic match. So I think I don't know what's happening, honestly, but yeah.
I guess no, I don't know. I don't have an answer either to that. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining. What is he's saying? Waiting for Nagal versus Alcaraz match in the Olympics.
Whoa! I hope that happens. I hope that happens. Um, it'll be
And
fun.
Arka has been commenting for a while. You should make story on Biniam Grimet, first Eritrean, first African to win stage in Tour de France. Tour de
Okay,
France.
Arko. Sure. But Tour de
Yes,
France, I don't think
Tour
I'm
de
very
France.
good at it. I think Gargi is
Yeah,
the one who is a
neither.
little closer.
No,
No,
I
no?
don't think. No, no, no,
No,
no. I
then
don't have any expertise in this.
Tour de France. Okay, we'll ask Boria to do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, everyone, thank you so much for joining. The series has ended. India has won the series, but did it bring up more questions than answers? We'll keep talking about that because that is something that has happened. But thank you so much, Trisha and Sneha Sheesh, and thank you for joining us throughout this series. We'll be back tomorrow as well, so stay tuned.